One of the most fascinating things I ever heard you talk about was the entrepreneurial mindset. A lot of people kind of look at videos on the internet and go, "Oh, how can I become an entrepreneur?" And you have a totally different take on what makes an entrepreneur.
Well, I do, and yeah, I'm going to sort of invalidate an entire industry here, I think, but I don't think you can actually decide to become an entrepreneur. I think the only way you could decide to become an entrepreneur if you could invest in a time machine, and I'll explain why. So in all of the conversations I've had with entrepreneurs, I always ask the same question. I've been very suspicious of where entrepreneurialism comes from. I think it might be epigenetic. So I always ask the same question, is what did you do when you were a kid for work? And did you have any challenges or problems when you were younger? And invariably, entrepreneurs will have had difficulties and challenges in their younger years. And the one thing you can guarantee they'll have done is they have hustled like crazy when they were kids. They would have, you know, for instance, there's the guy who does the paper round. I was the guy who marked up the papers before you got in to do the paper round because of an extra £5 to be had for marking the papers up.
Did you? I used to sell porn mags at school.
New or?
Yeah, we used to buy them cheap, and then because we went to a school, and this was in the days of the internet, we used to sell them off for massive markups to.
Well, you obviously have some entrepreneur. Well, you managed to combine both things, the trauma and the entrepreneurial thing at the same time, which is quite nice.
Sorry, just sparked something. We carry on. Apologies. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you learn something new every day about your
it wasn't what I
business
expected.
partner.
The closest thing I would relate entrepreneurialism to is actually anorexia. Okay, so the latest thinking about anorexia is it's epigenetic, and epigenetic means that circumstances or the environment cause certain genes to be expressed that wouldn't have otherwise, or overexpressive genes. In anorexia, obviously, it's the suppression of appetite, which the environment and the circumstances cause, and we're seeing a rapid increase in incidence of anorexia at the same time as seeing a rapid increase in the prevalence of social media bullying, and so on and so forth, being the adversity perhaps that causes the expression of the gene. And I think I suspect that something very similar happens to the entrepreneur. It would make sense for entrepreneurialism to be epigenetic. You only want some people to be entrepreneurial. You know, if everybody was entrepreneurial, it would be chaos.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think in terms of the industry itself, or the industry of self-help books, how I made it. I basically summarised the how I made it books is I went to this newsagent to buy my lottery ticket. That is about a similar amount of information that you will get from a story about how somebody made it. The only real way to become an entrepreneur would be to invent a time machine, travel back in time, and traumatise yourself at the age of 11, and then and then I think you've got. So I don't think it's something you can learn. I think it's something that is inherent, and that sounds a little bit unusual, but it does explain quite a lot of behaviours of entrepreneurial people. It feels more like a compunction. It feels like you haven't got any choice. It explains why people carry on even though they've made fantastical amounts of money, which you often...
They've had their liquidity moment.
They had their liquidity moment, and they're stupid enough to start another business and do it all over again.